Researching your family history goes way beyond one of those popular DNA kits.
Yeah, there's so much more to learn, and if you're not sure where to start, it's time for Genealogy 101. It's a free series about to start at the Brown County Library. Mary Jane Herber is here along with our own Dave Miller, who you may not know has become an expert in this field. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so Mary Jane, tell us about the program.
Well, the program, this is the 16th year we've been doing this on Saturday mornings. It's gotten a little longer because of the computer programs and things with databases, etc. But we started 10 after 9 in the morning, and we run until about 10:30, 10:45, and then many of the weeks there's a bonus program, and Dave's doing a number of the bonuses, one on German, one on Irish, one on Chicago, so it's a good series.
Well, Dave, let's talk a little bit about some of the things you've discovered researching your own family, or some of the tools, I should say, starting with some things people might not think of, like census records.
Right, exactly. And census records have been every 10 years in the United States, and even in some European nations too. You'll find, like Ireland, they had census records. Unfortunately, in their case, a lot of those got destroyed in the 1922 fire. That's not been the case here. We had a lot of the census records, with the exception of maybe 1890. The population census was destroyed in a fire in 1934 in Washington. But most of the other records, this is the 1940 census record. That's the most recent one that's available. And I think, what is it, like 5 more years? The 1950, yeah, 2022, 1950 census will become available to the public. So,
and are they locked in a basement somewhere, or why can't we see them?
Well, because of privacy.
Yes.
And in Canada, it's 100 years. In the United States, it's 72 and a half.
And in Ireland, they're just now talking about doing the 1926 census records, and they're trying to push that a little bit further so that we could maybe see it sooner. So far, the Irish Parliament hasn't made a decision yet on it. But,
wow, okay. Well, even everyday records like death or even baptisms can kind of help out as well.
Yeah, vital records can be really important as far as finding that information. This goes back to like 1782, an old German Catholic record. In fact, this is actually the birth record of my 7th great grandmother. So this goes back quite a ways, but these are the kind of records that we talk about during the bonus sessions. And you can see the Catholic records, especially in Germany, and some of these date back into Bohemia. They are in Latin. Whereas the evangelical records are in German, and so you'll see the difference there. In that case, that was in Latin, so those are Catholic records.
Yeah. And what about like church records even? People might not think to look up church records.
Yeah, the church records you can find a lot of. Depends upon where you go. Now, when we talk about like Chicago records, some of those church records aren't always available. Depends upon the diocese or the archdiocese. And
or the Chicago fire.
Right, and the Chicago fire had something to do with it too, as far as civil records. But the individual, as far as like religious records in places like Ireland, a lot of those are now starting to become available. In fact, a number of the Catholic records went online, and they date back to the late 1800s, and those started about 3 years ago. So you can find a website online where many of those Catholic records are available.
Well, Dave, you found something interesting in a will that connects you to something still standing today.
Yeah, well, you know, when I was in Ireland a year and a half ago, I did find a will. And wills are another way of finding some more information, not only of the ancestors, but the dates and where they were located. In this case, this one ancestor had created a clergy widow's home and down Patrick in that area. So I was down there with some friends, and the one friend of mine said, "Hey, you should write the tourism department's right next door. Why don't you go find, see if you can find a location of where it was located, and you take a picture of it." So I go into the tourism department, and I said, "Okay, can you tell me where this place was located so I could take a picture?" And she said, "You're kidding me." And I said, "No." She goes, "Well, if you go up these stairs and make a right, you'll see the whole building."
Do we have
the building? Yeah, the building exists today.
There it is.
That's it.
That's
and
so cool.
That was built in the 1740s, and the ancestor died in 1755. But they remain in effect. It's now apartment flats. and it's been expanded a little bit, but the building's still there.
Well, and Mary Jane tells me that they have books for you to use, there's computers for you to use, and you don't need anything going into it other than yourself,
And
right?
That's right. And you have to start with yourself and your grandparents and your great-grandparents. And the series starts on January 26th.
Yep, we have the, let's put up the details. The Genealogy 101 series, January 26th through March 30th. Saturdays starting at 9:10. Mary Jane, do we need to register ahead of time?
It's good to register because we want to make sure we have enough handouts for everybody.
Okay, browncountylibrary.org. Thanks to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.